So, hello everyone. I'm not sure this is my day. This is like the third time I'm recording this part, but this video is going to be a lot about my Sony ZV1. This is a really awesome camera. It comes in a small package and it works just great. It does the job, and this one is advertised as a vlogger's camera. Personally, I think it's a very good camera for content creators, and the format of it together with all the features you get is just outstanding. This one is based on the RX100 series, but they've made some changes toward on the camera, so it's more focused on film. Changes they made is like they added like a film button, they added a tally light and a better built-in microphone on it. So it really focused on films and making content for like YouTube and stuff like that. However, there is one big issue with it, and it is that when you're holding the camera kind of like this and you won't want to film yourself, the lens is not wide enough. This lens goes from 24mm to 70. If you compare this to the newest generation of the RX100, the Mark 7. The Mark 7 specifically goes from 24 to 200. This one is built upon the lens that you had in the older generations of the RX100. Therefore, you have the minimum aperture of 1.8 in the widest mode and 2.8 when fully zoomed in. That's a very nice range for filming yourself and people. It also have a built-in ND filter, so in some situations where the light is very bright, this is just great. It's a great camera, but the biggest flaw it has is that the lens is not wide enough. Especially if you're planning to hold a camera and film it in this way. You kind of have to stretch out your arm a lot in order to be able to do that. However, there is some solutions, and those solutions are based on lenses like this, or it's not really lenses, it's more like filters. I'm looking at two options that I often see being recommended. The one I have here is an Ulanzi, and the one I have here is a Zomei. The Ulanzi one is a little bit unique because it splits into two. If you just screw it like this, it comes onto two pieces. This part here is a macro lens, and this one together with other pieces is making a wide angle. It comes onto two pieces. This part here is a macro lens, and this one together with other pieces is making a wide angle. While this one is being lighter, the Ulanzi one is being heavier. The Ulanzi one weighs in at 120 grams, while this one weighs in at 94 grams. So it's roughly around 30 grams difference. While that might be significant is because the ZV1 is not really the strongest and heaviest constructed camera. So adding some weight here is kind of putting some extra stress on the focus motor. Therefore, I would want to have a lighter thing to put here. But the difference is that if you put something lighter and cheaper, you might compromise the quality compared to something more expensive that has more glass. So what I want to check out is how big is the difference and how big is the compromise. I know already because I've done this a couple of times and I know that this one performs optically better while this one is a little bit blurry in the edges. But let's dig into the video and see what the actual difference is. And the way I'm going to do that is by swapping out this camera for this camera, and we're going to continue filming everything with the dedicated camera that is relative for this test. So let's dig into it. We have made a switch. At the moment we are recording with the ZV1 in the widest way possible. This means that there's no stabilization and anything, and we're correctly using the product showcase, which means I could do like this and the camera is gonna focus on the product. However, this is not really how you record, because if you're gonna do vlog style content, I can't reach the camera. So you would have to like stand like this kind of in order to have this field of view. This is this nice field of view. This is how you want it to be. But to do it more realistically, we're gonna reach out and we're gonna move the camera a little bit closer. And as the camera is now, we are all the way stretched out. It's unlikely that I'm gonna walk around like this in order to film a vlog style. Well, maybe if I have like a selfie stick or some stick or something like that on the camera. In that case, we will do that. But we're gonna do it even more realistically. And like saying that I wanna hold the camera like this. Let's just say I want to hold the camera in a comfortable way, something like this, and film myself. We are very close, we would be very close to the camera, and if I would do this with the ZV1, it would be more like this. And let's mix it a little bit higher, because you would probably hold it a little bit up. So this is where we are at. Very comfortable to hold, but also very close to the camera. So this is the base that we're dealing with. Now, let's see how much more do we get with the Ulanzi lens. And as mentioned before, this one has two functions. If you split this lens in half, you have a macro and you have a wide angle part. Together they give a wide angle, and otherwise they only give you the macro. So you would have to go very close in order to get focus. This is nice if you're gonna show product and the way they are look, because you could get very close to them, and that's something that I like with this part. But for now it's just about the wide angle and how good is the wide angle. This one is the more expensive one of them. I think I paid around like $70 for this one, and this one is around $40. So this one is twice as expensive. So let's put it on and see how much more do we get. And just by putting it on like this, just holding it in front, we kind of see that we get quite a lot. Without and with. So quite noticeable. Let's do the same with the Zomei and see how much more we get. This is with and this is without. Do it again. With and without. With and without. So when I've looked on these two lenses, I noticed that the difference between them in how much more wide angle you get is actually quite similar. I would say you get around down to 16mm or something like this. So they perform similar in that way. There is another difference though. So let's put on the Ulanzi one in the proper way by screwing it on and screwing it all the way down. So stop the video a little bit. Since the product showcase mode in this camera, the ZV1, is not so accurate when it comes to focusing on the edges when you're moving around. And I noticed that it focused more in the middle. Therefore, we are redoing the test with the sharpness in the edges. And at the moment, I have the camera tracking my eye, and it tracks my eyes. So I turn off the product showcase mode, and I have a regular focus. And this focus method is very effective. It shouldn't have any problem. Let's move over to the middle and see how I look here. What I've noticed before is that I'm pretty sharp here. They are quite similar. Maybe, just a maybe, the Ulanzi one is slightly sharper. But when I move out towards the edges, I kind of becomes a little bit blurry. So let's switch. So let's switch over to the Ulanzi one and see the difference. So here we have the Ulanzi one on. The camera is still tracking my eyes, and the Sony cameras does that very well. They keep focus very well. So let's move out on the side and see the result. And since I already saw a little bit of the footage, we should see my face being slightly sharper here, while being in the middle. The difference is not so noticeable, though the Ulanzi one is definitely the sharper one and the one that performs optically the best. Let's go back to the main video. In some ways, if you're gonna like doing vlog content with either one of these lenses or filters, I kind of think that the most important thing is like, how is it in the middle? And maybe not strictly in the middle, but a little bit around the middle. Because in the edges, if it is a little bit blurry, that is not necessarily a bad thing, because it kind of blurs out the background and perhaps it creates a nicer look on the image. While if you are two persons in the frame, the Ulanzi one might be the better option. If you're filming yourself, if you want it to be lightweight, maybe the Zomei is the better option. With the Ulanzi one, you get two functions in one. You get the macro and you have the wide angle. But the reason, as mentioned before, why I want the lighter one and the thinner one is because of the weight and the added weight on the mechanical things on the zoom. Besides adding just this, in some cases you might want to put an ND filter on this one as well. And that might change some things, because the filter diameter on this one is smaller and on the Zomei is bigger. So perhaps that will even out the weight a little bit, or maybe not. That's maybe a topic for another video. However, now we have compared the both, and my conclusion is that the Ulanzi is the clear winner when it comes to image quality. The Zomei is the winner when it comes to convenient and being lighter and stuff like that. So that's the compromise you need to take. If you want it to be lighter, you compromise with the quality. If you want perfect quality, you put on the Ulanzi one. So the question is, which one am I gonna use? Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm probably gonna try both of them a little bit, and but I think I would prefer to stick on the Zomei because it is, after all, the lighter one, and I think that would be better for the camera. If you are a representative of Ulanzi and you're watching this video, I would be very happy if you would write in the comment and address this issue that I have a concern about. I think this one weighs too much and it adds some more stress on my camera. Therefore, I'm not sure if this one in the long term will be good for my camera, will it damage the camera, and stuff like that. If you have an answer of that, or if you have an experience of using this kind of lens attachment yourself, let me know that in the comment below. What is your personal experience? If you like this kind of content and you want to see more photo related content, there will be a playlist over here with photo related content. Click here to subscribe, and if you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment below. Thanks for watching and have a very nice day.